Hello, how is everyone today? How are you guys doing? How's your week going? Happy Thursday.
Hi, Heather's audience.
They're my aces. I call them my aces.
Hey, aces.
So how are you today?
Fine, and yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You're looking good, unlike
Thank
me.
you. No, you're good,
Oh,
totally.
I'm always a slob.
You just got back from a trip, okay? You're supposed to chill out, relax, unwind after a trip, and you're like, nope, I'm gonna get back to work. So you're totally cool.
Well, I'm glad to have an excuse. Thank you for giving me one.
Yeah, you're welcome. How was your trip?
Yeah, so it was, I went to East and Central Texas in the middle of July, which is not the ideal vacation, to be honest with you. It was hot.
Oh.
I mean, and I'm from Vegas, and I am so thankful to be back in this heat because there it is so humid.
Yeah.
And I was just drenched in sweat the whole trip.
Oh, isn't it hard to breathe when it's that humid?
Yes, I just did not feel myself that whole trip. I just my head felt puffy and slow of thinking, and I don't know what it was, but as soon as I got back, I was sharp again.
How soon did it take? How long did it take before you became sharp again?
It was, let's see, I would say pretty much as soon as we landed, I just felt so much better.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened quickly.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. So hey, how you guys? Hey Jimmy on Twitch, how are you? Welcome back to Vegas Aces live stream. I'm Heather Ferris, and today we have a special guest, Mike Shackleford with the Wizard of Odds.
Hi, everyone.
And we are going to teach you how to play Pai-Gow Tiles. So I'm really excited about this.
Me too. This is my favorite game.
And you know so much about it too.
I accept the compliment. I have studied this game a lot. Mm-hmm. And before I wrote about Pai-Gow, there was nothing easily available about it in English. And I see you have two old Pai-Gow books with you.
Yes, I do.
But these are very obscure books that the average person would have no idea about. The only place you might find these books would be in the Gambler's bookstore here in Vegas.
And that's actually where I found these too.
There you go. So I'm proud to have, shall we say, integrated the game.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's see here. I lost my place. Oh, that's pretty important. After this live stream, we are going to be going over to your channel at 3 p.m. at The Odds Must Be Crazy. And what are we going to be talking about on your live stream today?
Whatever comes up, another Ask Me Anything.
Oh, cool. Right on. That's nice and easy. And we could always continue tiles, too. I know you could...
Sure.
Yeah, that would be... I don't know.
But I invite my mutual fans with your fans to come on over and think of your questions now to ask me over on my channel.
Anything. Ask him anything.
Yep.
About anything. I got a question for you.
Sure.
So now before we continue, I forgot to say this. People could go to your website, wizardofodds.com, and they could find all of this information on your site because you have a ton of games on there, right?
Yes, and I'm especially proud of my Pai-Gow material.
Yeah.
I really have a lot of it.
And you even have a game you could play.
Absolutely, and that is a great game.
It's cool.
And it's a great way to learn the game because it's really intimidating for beginners.
It is,
so I'm really proud of it. I didn't make it, but I paid for my assistant at the time to make it, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. He did a really great job.
Thanks.
No problem. So the question that I have is from one of our viewers, Dan O'Neill, and he wants to know what is the difference between tournament play and normal play that you do in a casino?
Well, one could talk about this all day long, but real briefly, in regular play in the casino, think of the dealer as being the enemy. You're trying to take her money. In a tournament, the other players are the enemy, and you want yourself to win and them to lose.
Even if you're playing the same game like blackjack, where
Absolutely.
it's the player against the dealer?
Absolutely. You are hoping your competitors lose.
So how do you do that then? I mean, if it's you against the dealer, how do you affect the other players?
Well, you can't affect their cards, but you can significantly improve your chances of winning the tournament through careful betting and taking chances at the right time. And a major piece of advice that goes a long way is I like to get out front with about 5 to 10 minutes to go and then fight to stay there.
Okay.
And you may have to throw it out there, everything. You may have to go all in 2 or 3 times to get in first place. And if that's what you need to do, then you just need to do it.
So then it's like an aggressive betting style.
Oh, you have to be very aggressive. The biggest mistake most tournament players make is they play like they're just in a cash game.
Like they're playing their own money.
Right. They're just sitting there dinking around. And no, you have to be real aggressive in these tournaments. And almost never will you win, say, if the high player at the table advances. Seldom will you win if you don't at least go all in at least once. Now, sometimes it'll happen that everyone just busts out and you can win without doing anything. But normally, yeah, you'll have to make some big moves. But lots of times I play conservatively at the beginning just to kind of see who's who and who's smart. But then when it gets toward the end, I like to shove it all in at the right time to get in first, and maybe I'll bust out. But
so if you have like one more hand left, would you go all in if you could?
It depends. Okay, here's the strategy with the last hand and the last few hands. If you, and in say blackjack tournaments, you have to take turns putting out your bets. If you're in the lead, hopefully you'll be last to act. And you bet the same way as, say, the second place person. If he bets big, you bet big. If he bets small, you bet small.
Okay.
Because you're all playing against the same dealer hand. So there's a good chance either the table will all win or the table will all lose. It's very correlated, what happens between each player in the same hand. So you want to correlate with your competitors if you're ahead. And if you are not ahead, then you want to be a contrarian. You want to go high when first place goes low, and you want to go low when first place goes high. And hopefully position is so important. And hopefully you'll be late to act in the last hand. But yeah, that's the real quick advice, but I could talk about it all day long.
Now, what about like if you're in a blackjack tournament, for example, would you play normal strategy or would you play like a different strategy?
In the early part of the tournament, it's fine to just play basic strategy, but if you need to throw a Hail Mary in the last hand, then you just need to throw it. For example, I was in one tournament, and in the last hand, I was fortunately in the lead, and fortunately last to act, and the second place player went all in, as he should have, and then I basically bet big too, so that if we both won, I would win. If we both lost, I would win. And he got a total of 18. Or no, wait, he didn't go all in. He went half in, which is a common strategy with blackjack. He got a total of 18, and he doubled down, which was the correct move because it was his only way to win because I had a 20, and he got a 3. Ooh. Oh, that was so painful.
That's a bad beat right there.
That was a horrible beat. And then I ended up splitting my tens, which is terrible in basic strategy, but it was the only way I could win was by splitting those tens and then winning both of them. But that didn't happen, but it goes to show the crazy moves you might have to make in the last hand, which is all the more reason to be in a position in front so that you don't have to do crazy stuff like doubling on 18, that you can be a little bit more comfortable and just play regular strategy. And the only reason I had to split my tens was because that second place guy got super lucky by doubling on 18 and hitting that 3.
Okay.
But again, this is just scratching the surface of a very big topic.
Okay, maybe we should do that one day, like just have one video discussing just that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
That would be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see what we have over here, what you guys are saying in the chats, and also seeing if I missed anything. Let's see here. Awesome. Hey, Travesty. How are you doing? Travesty on Twitch. Boris. I think Boris is the only one on YouTube. We don't have many people on YouTube today. That's cool. Shall we get started? That makes it easy for us.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's get started. Now, the very first thing people, when they learn this game, the very first thing that I tell people is it's really good to know Pai-Gow Poker before you learn this game. And that's because if you know Pai-Gow Poker, if you know how to play it, if you know about the player banker, and then you come into this game and you learn this game, all you really have to do is learn these rankings and basically how to set your hand, and the rest of the game you know. So it's not as confusing as, say, if you just came to this game and learned this game and this was the very first Pai-Gow game you ever learned.
I absolutely agree. It's good to learn Pai-Gow Poker first, because at least you'll understand the betting structure about splitting your hand in a high and a low and the 5% commission and all that jazz.
And all that jazz. Jazz hands.
Is this how you do it?
I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I'm not sure. I might be doing it wrong.
Okay, what's this? Hope I'm doing it right.
Fingers? I don't know. Jazz hands? Is that
No,
jazz hands?
these are spirit fingers from the
Spirit?
movie
I don't know.
Bring It On.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
No, I need to see it.
Oh, I like that movie.
Yeah. I need to see that.
Especially the spirit fingers routine.
Wait. You know this one?
Well, I know this is Spock, but is this like what Spock does when he can tell a lie?
No, this is what I do when I can't do the Spock hand. I can't do the Spock hand.
You can't do this?
I can't do the Spock hand. No matter what I do, I can't do the two fingers. My fingers don't go together. It just doesn't work.
Really?
So the only way I could do it is by crossing them, and then I could do the Spock hand.
This is harder to do.
No, it won't work.
Huh. I don't know. I just think, can't everyone do this?
No, it's hard for me. And then when I go to the Star Trek convention, everybody's doing that, and I'm like, oh shit. Okay, let's finish. Okay, so let's get back to this.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Pai-Gow Tiles. So back to Pai-Gow Tiles. So, so basically, if you're watching this game, it's really good to learn Pai-Gow Poker before you start this one.
Agreed.
Now, after you know Pai-Gow Poker and you know how to play the hand, really the only thing you have to focus on is the tiles, like what to do with the tiles, since they're not poker hands, poker cards.
Easier said than done.
Right? So the very first thing we do is we learn the rankings. And just like with poker, you have poker rankings where the royal flush is the highest, and it goes all the way down to the pair. Well, just like that, Pai-Gow Tile has rankings as well.
Well, you can get lower than a pair in poker.
High card.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you know, with the ranking, it's... Okay, anyway. But with tiles, you have the same rankings, but the really cool thing about the tile rankings is that there's a mythology behind it. There's a story behind it. And that's really, really very interesting as far as, you know. Yeah.
Do you want to, like, take turns in going over the story? Because I think we both know it.
Yeah, I think we do. And we have these guides. If we don't, we can look them up.
But I have to quickly say that you also have to know things like what's a gong and what's a wong.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's more like when you're setting your hand. So first
Yeah.
you learn the rankings,
Yeah.
and then you learn setting the hand, and that's when you learn the gone and won.
Yeah, and then there's also the strategy. So,
Right.
I mean, it is not an easy game to learn.
No, it's not. And it would
Okay.
probably take quite a number of videos actually to learn it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who should go over the story of?
Well, you said we were going to go back
Okay.
and forth, right?
Do you want to go first or second?
I don't know. I didn't look. First? Second? First. I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. So the very first one is these tiles right here. And let's see if you guys can see them. Yes, you can. And these tiles right here is Gi Jun. Now, am I saying that right? Gi Jun?
I believe so.
Okay, it's
well,
G-E-E and
Gi-jun,
then
yeah.
J-U-N-G, right? Gi-jun?
It's the June is spelled J-O-O-N.
Oh, it's J-O-O-N?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's just how I pronounce it. June, J-U-N. So it's J-O-O-N. And what Gi-jun is
J-O-O-N.
What did I say?
J-O-N.
Oh, man. Okay, yes. What he said. This is why I have you here. Because I'm going to... Yeah. So basically, this is the highest one. Now, it's only the highest one if these two are together. If you have these separately, for example, this is in one hand and this is in another hand, then they become the lowest tiles. But if they're together like this, then they become the highest tiles. And the highest tiles, the very first one, this is basically God. This is the supreme being. So it's the story of creation. Really easy to remember because everyone knows the story of creation. So this right here is the God tile or the supreme being tile. This is like the best one you could possibly get. So that's that. Now you want to do the next one?
Yeah, I also might say that a way you might remember this is these are all powers of 2. Like here we have 2 to the 0, 2 to the 1, 2 to the 1, 2 to the second. So they keep doubling.
And another thing I forgot to mention too is only with these tiles do you have 2 different numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So you could either have 6 or 3. This could also be a 3. And this, even though it's a 3, it could also be a 6. So either of these tiles could be 6 or 3.
So they're semi-wild, much like the Joker is semi-wild in Pai-Gow Poker.
Yep.
And Pai-Gow Poker is, of course, a variant of this game here. In case you're wondering how they got some of the silly rules in Pai-Gow Poker. Okay, so anyway, first there was God, and then God created the heavens. And these two, with all the dots, represent stars.
And that is called teen?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Your turn.
Okay, so the next one is this one, and they call this one day. And this represents Earth. So these 2 dots right here, it's like the whole of Earth. So this is Earth.
Yep. And then God created man, and this represents man here. Why I'm not really sure, but you know, men's bodies look kind of boxy, and
that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's man. So far we're still pretty much going by the Genesis story.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, first he created man. Like, isn't it God, and then God created the heavens, and then God created the earth, and then God created man.
Yep.
So just like the story. And then man needed something to eat, so then God created Gore. And Gore is like geese or goose. So the way that you look at it when you look at the tiles is this one red dot is the goose's body. And then these white dots right here could be the goose's wings as they fly away.
I thought they were the feathers, but...
Or feathers.
Yeah.
They could be wings or feathers.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
true.
it
Because
same
the feathers
thing?
are on the wings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then God wanted to give the earth beauty, so he created flowers. And each of these 5s looks like the petals of a flower.
Yeah. So you have like the middle of the flower and then the petals of the flower.
Yep.
And then after that, man decided that he was a bit cold. So he was like, dude, God, come on, give me some robes. So God created robes, and these are the robes.
Yep. And then man got tired, so he wanted something to sit on. So he created a bench, and these represent like the legs of a bench.
Yes, exactly. Like this would be the bench, and then these are the nails or whatever that holds the legs.
Yep.
Cool. And then God got really tired of man's complaining, so he created a hatchet or an axe, so that way man could do his own work.
And yeah. And by the way, I think this is a hatchet, like the 6 is like the handle of the hatchet, and the 5 like shows wood chips scattering around.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, cool.
Okay, and then man started having kids, and the oldest child was known as the redhead.
Yes.
And yeah.
Because of the red.
And this is also the largest number of all the 3 kids, by the way.
Yeah.
So you're next.
And then the next one is this kid right here, which is my favorite kid out of all of them. And this is long legs. So you have the head right here, which is the red dot, and then these right here are the long legs. And my favorite part about this is the Chinese word, which is tit. I swear, it is tit. So you have long legs, tit. Okay, I just get way too much enjoyment out of that. You could do that. I can't do that. I think YouTube would ban me if I did that. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know your channel was like that. So that's that child.
And then there was this child, and I know there's something about the 5 elements.
It's big head.
Big head, yes.
Yes. And then this one represents the 5 different elements and everything, yeah. So what is that? Metal, earth, water, fire, air. Yeah.
Earth, and you can remember the earth, wind, and fire part really easy.
Yeah, totally. Now, let's see. Yeah, all of the tiles that we talked about right here, all of these tiles right here, these are known as the civilian tiles. These tiles right here, which is what we're going to talk about next, these are the military tiles. And these are also the pairs, but they're how would you say that? It's like they're pairs, but they don't look like pairs.
The mixed pairs.
The mixed pairs, that's right. So each one of these is a pair, but you couldn't tell by looking at it because it doesn't even look the same. So this one is the first pair out of them, and it's pair 9. And you could tell by basically counting the dots, which, by the way, you're not supposed to count the dots. You're supposed to look at the dots and know. It's one of those things where you practice. So this one is the mixed pair for 9, and you could tell because each one is a 9.
And then there's the mixed 8 pair, which is less than 9.
And then the mixed 7 pair right here.
And finally, the lowest pair is the mixed 5.
Now, why did they miss the 6? Why does it go 7-5 instead of 7-6?
Well, we already have this 6 and this 6, and you can make 6 that way, but that's the wild one. But there's no other ways to make 6.
Okay.
So, but you could ask all kinds of questions like, why is this here? Why is that there?
Speaking of which,
you just need to memorize it.
One of the biggest questions that we get about Pai-Gow tiles is why are some of the dots white and some of the dots red? And there's actually a really good theory behind it. Do you want to tell or do you want me?
It's your show, so you can decide.
Yes, it's my favorite. Okay, cool. I love this. Okay, so in the Asian culture, if you take a look at the tile, if you could see the tile, in the Asian culture, certain numbers are considered bad luck. And one of those is the number 4. Because when you say 4, it sounds similar to the word death in that culture. So if you notice here, all of the 4s, like so, all of the 4 ones, they're all red. And then you also have these ones, which are just 1, like so. So all of the 1s are red. And then this is the only one right here where you have something different, where it's not a 4, it's not a 1. Instead, you have 6 or 3, 3. Now, I know about the 4. Now, I don't know why the 1s are red or the 3s are red. My guess is it's to counteract the bad luck of the 4, but that's my guess.
Yeah, that's the prevalent theory. And by the way, it's the same thing with the dice. You notice the 4 is red and the 1 is red, but everything else is black.
Yep.
And I do, to correct you a little bit, this is a Chinese thing where the word for 4 is so, which is very similar to the word for death. So I would just say it's a Chinese thing, not an Asian thing.
Well, okay, so with Asia, you have Chinese and then Japanese. Is there any other Asian?
Oh, sure. There's Thai and Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia,
yeah, I wasn't
Laos.
even thinking that. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chinese. So it's
Yeah.
a Chinese thing.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. And as you said, I think that they made the 1 red too was because 1, I guess, represents God, and they wanted to, again, counterbalance the negativity of the 4.
Makes sense. Cool. So that's pretty much it for all of the tiles. That is probably a quick rundown of the basics of the tiles.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you want to add that we didn't cover?
I will just say that may have gone quick, but it just has to be memorized. If it were an easy game to play, everyone would play it. So, yeah, now, I can't think of any other good shortcuts. I will say that one thing we didn't point out is you see a whole bunch of whites right here in a row, plus the 11. So those are all connected, and then you see these ones that are
all the same,
that are half white, half red, and then all the mixed pairs. And it simply must be memorized. Like, what if you get this one and this one playing? You think, oh, is that a mixed pair? It's not, because this is part of the long leg pair.
Right.
And it just simply needs to be memorized which tiles are in the mixed pairs.
Now, usually the best way to memorize these is to take tiles like these, or if you say cut out pieces of square paper and then just make the markings yourself with pen, use those tiles and then turn them over so you can't see anything, mix it all up, and then flip them over and then put them in order from highest to lowest. If you do that while you're practicing at home, that's a really, really great way of memorizing the order and memorizing what each one looks like.
Yep.
And also being able to look at it and see, oh, this is 6, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, now it's 6. Okay. You get to see it, you get to familiarize yourself with it, and it becomes a lot easier. And once you know the rankings, it makes setting up the hands much easier.
Yeah. And by the way, you can buy used sets of Pai-Gow tiles pretty cheaply on eBay.
Yeah.
And a lot of Chinese gift stores that you might see, like in San Francisco, that sell Asian stuff, often will have them like wherever they sell mahjong sets.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be sure to put a link later tonight, not after the live stream, because I'm not going to be able to, because we're going to be over on his channel. But afterwards, I'll put a link up to Amazon for you guys where you could buy a set of tiles like these. Okay. So I got that for later. Now let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. See if you guys have any questions about what we talked about. I am surprised we are getting more chat in Twitch this time than we are in YouTube. Usually we have a lot of chat in YouTube and nothing in Twitch. So this is a really weird change. Yes, jazz hands. Cool. Hey, Wildcard. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Default Media. Hi, Andrew. How you? I know with Chinese, okay, yeah, Japanese, it's like that too. Chinese have C4 or C death. Is that C or she? C? I can't pronounce it. I'm not good with that.
No, it's like shu.
Shu? Okay.
E-R sun shu.
Shu.
It's like
Su? Shu.
E-R sun. Su is how you say 4, and I think death is more like shu.
Okay.
But the distinctions are very subtle.
Yeah.
Which makes Chinese such a difficult language if you weren't brought up in it.
Yeah. Same with English though, right? Because we have a lot of weird stuff like you, your, you know, like different.
Yeah, like I've heard people trying to learn English just have they find our spelling really difficult, and like the difference between I, me, and myself, and
and then we have words that are like one word, but it has like 2 or 3 different meanings and everything.
Yeah. So
let's see.
So what are these people complaining about?
Oh, I guess we're having technical difficulties with YouTube. That's why. That's why it's not working. Okay. So.
Do you think that's our fault?
No. No. Because I have dealt with so many technical difficulties, and I've talked to other people who have live streams, and they have a lot of technical difficulties. It's just the fact that it's new technology, and we're all getting used to it. So anyway, we are going to end that here. I'm going to go turn off the live stream, and then I'm going to turn it back on, and hopefully it works for YouTube. So you might be seeing 2 different videos of this. Join us on our part 2 video where we're going to talk about setting up the hand. And hopefully we will see you in less than a minute.
Be back soon.
Be back very soon.